the 11th chapter, starting at the first verse. I always love when the Lord allows me to indulge in the provocative book of Samuel, because Samuel is a constant reminder of us theologically that even when we're outside of God's perfect will and we find ourselves in his permissive will, that he will always erect a prophetic word that will even shift governments. Because if God would have had it his way, we would have never had the book of Samuel at all. We would have the first 5 books of the Bible, which is the Torah, the Pentateuch, written by Moses 250 years after the dispensation of promise. So the Bible would have been Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth. We would have never had 2 Samuel nor 2 Kings. It was God's desire that when the children of Israel came out of Egypt, that they would never have a king, because they was under King Pharaoh for 400 years. He said, I will give you judges, but I don't want to ever put a king over you. But they wanted a king. He said, so I'll give you a king, but before I give you kings, I have to give you Samuel. Yes, sir. And so I must erect a prophet that will then anoint the king. Amen. And so that makes us understand that how the government really should run is that the prophet should speak and the government should listen. And so whenever we're in the book of Samuel, it is a constant reminder that there is a prophetic word for every situation that you are going through. Notice this very passage of scripture is very familiar, but I want you to hear it prophetically. It says, and it came to pass after the year was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle, that David stayed home. He tarried still in Jerusalem. Verse 2 says, and it came to pass in the evening time that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house, and from the roof he saw a woman washing herself. Not only was she washing herself, but she was just not beautiful, but she was very beautiful. This is where he messed up, because instead of going back to sleep, he inquired, who is she? He got the answer, she's married. All right, so I saw her. She fine as all outdoors. I really should go to bed, but I'm still gonna ask. I'm gonna ask about y'all. I asked about her. They tell me not only do she got an old man, but he worked for me in my army. I really ought to go to bed now. But instead of doing that, verse 4, it says he took her. She came into him and he lay with her, but she was purified for her uncleanness. God didn't put it on her charge. Verse 5, the woman conceived. She sent word to tell David, I'm pregnant. 2 Samuel, the 12th chapter and the 24th verse, the conclusion of this matter says, and David comforted Bathsheba, his wife, and he went into her and lay with her, and she bore a son, and he called his name, what? Solomon. And the Lord, what? I'll give you my topic by the end of the message, but as it relates to a thought as we matriculate through this text, I want you to look at another sister, and I want you to really look at her real good, look her up and down, and let's erect this thought in the atmosphere. Say, girl, you look good. Won't you back that thing up? Will you tell that other woman that, please, before you sit down? Girl, you look good. Won't you back that thing? You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. The woman. Every real man in this house understands my grunt, because there is absolutely nothing more precious or beautiful than a woman. Amen. Amen. It is the woman that gives us a life. Amen. Man is nothing without woman. Amen. Without woman, he is not complete. Man can be in a garden and have the authority to name the animals, but he's still nothing without woman. He can have power to speak to whatever he wants, but he's still nothing without woman. I'm not talking to a friend, but he can talk to God, the creator of all, every day in the cool of the day, and God will still say it's not good for him to be alone. I'm not alone, I'm talking to God. I'm not talking to a friend, I'm not talking to the enemy, I'm talking to God. So how am I alone? Because God says no matter how anointed you are, man, no matter how good you preach, no matter how prophetic you are, no matter how much you speak to me and I speak to you, you are still not complete until you have woman. You don't even get favor until you find her. You find a good thing and you obtain favor. James Brown says this is a man's world, but it's nothing without a woman or a girl. Eleanor Roosevelt says it like this, and I quote, "A woman is like a tea bag. You can't tell how strong she is until you put her in hot water." There's something about a woman that can endure pain different than a man. Coco Chanel says it like this, and I quote, "Women have always been the strong ones of the world. The men are always seeking from women a little pillow to put their heads down on. They're always longing for the mother who held them as infants, because the woman is powerful." Even this great United States of America speaks of a woman when he says, "God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her," because the woman is powerful. Men, when we get a brand new car, we always name it after a woman. When you look at another woman and say, "We really are it, we really are it, we really are it."